So, as promised, this is going to be my sort of weird presentation on kind of what I can link and what I know of Epstein. I am probably not the first person to do this. I'm probably not the most qualified person to do this. This is just stuff that I put together myself from Google and on the internet. So, please, if you would, take it with a grain of salt. And without further ado, here we go. Also, apologies in advance, there may be a part 2 to this. Jeffrey Edward Epstein, born January 20th, 1953, died August 10th, 2019, cause of death, suicide by hanging, official declaration. I call this monsters in plain sight. So who was Jeffrey Epstein? Financier, broker, and at one point taught at Dalton School despite not having a college degree. I don't know about y'all, but that's like immediately red flaggy. New York City native, born to a modest family, skipped 2 grades to graduate from a public school at 16 and began playing piano at age 5. So clearly the guy is super freaking intelligent. Worked for several businesses that usually resulted in scandal and controversies, such as working for Bear Stearns, a brokerage firm and investment bank that went defunct in 2008, which was then sold to J.P. Morgan Chase, and was also involved in a Ponzi scheme. Lovely. Clear patterns of behavior suggest that Mr. Epstein was involved and in contact with many elite and world leadership circles. The implications of this spans to the point of compromise in our own government, and this needs to be thoroughly investigated before we hold another election. Like, look, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want no shenanigans or nothing until we figure out how many snakes we have in our fucking closet. It gets bad. So you guys will see this small little thing at the bottom of a lot of my slides here, and it's Latin. It's Latin for he who sleeps with snakes has scales. So, what did he do? The real question should be, what didn't he do? This guy has been everywhere. Teaching deans at Dalton, was reported to have inappropriate behavior with the younger female students, dismissed in 1976 for poor performance teaching physics and math without the credentials. How is that not red flaggy as shit? It is. While assisting high-level clients with tax mitigation strategies like the president of Seagram, you know, the soda, the club soda stuff. Yuck. Epstein also became a limited partner working for Bear Stearns, investment bank and broker, in 1980, the year after Epstein was asked to leave due to being guilty of a Reg D violation. You'd be surprised at how many people get guilty of that violation. Basically, it's circumventing rules that they shouldn't be. Almost like when you were in high school and you had to bypass the proxy to get on the internet. All right, after his dismissal from Bear Stearns, which was brought up in 2008, or was bought up in 2008 by J.P. Morgan Chase, he funded his own consulting firm called Intercontinental Assets Group Incorporated in 1981. It has been stated by several sources that he was an asset and to leave cases alone. I've actually heard this theory quite often, and the more you dig, the more you understand why people are saying that. One of Epstein's clients was the Saudi Arabian businessman, I can't even pronounce that, who was the middleman in transferring American weapons from Israel to Iran as part of the Iran-Contra affair in the 1980s. One of several defense contractors that he knew in the mid-1980s, Epstein traveled multiple times through the United States, Europe, and Southwest Asia. While in London, met Stephen Hoffenberg. They had been introduced to through Douglas Leese, a defense contractor, and John Mitchell, the former U.S. Attorney General. I am so sorry, I can't talk right now. So, you know who that is? Stephen Hoffenberg died in 2022, tested positive for COVID-19. Okay. So what was up with this guy? Stephen Hoffenberg hired Epstein as a consultant for the Towers Financial Corporation, which ended up being one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history, lost over $450 million. This happened in the 90s, y'all. Hoffenberg claimed in court that Epstein was intimately involved. So he was charged, right? Like, you would think he'd be charged, right? But no! He was not charged for his involvement. It is unclear whether or not he acquired some of the freaking funds. Here we go. While still consulting for Hoffenberg, Epstein funded his own financial management firm and claimed later this company handled clients worth over $1 billion. During the company's run, he picked up Leslie Wexner, CEO of Victoria's Secret and L Brands, as a client. Wow. Victoria's Secret, Epstein into Victoria's Secret? No way. According to Wikipedia, in July of 1991, Wexner granted Epstein full power of attorney over his affairs, which, excuse me, what? Like, does nobody else see? Again, it's red flaggy as shit! The power of attorney allowed Epstein to hire people, sign checks, buy and sell properties, borrow money, and do anything else of a legally binding nature on Wexner's behalf. Epstein managed Wexner's health and various projects such as various projects such as building his yacht, the Limitless. So basically, this guy was just yeah, that's fine. You know, you handled my money business pretty well, so you know what, just handle my whole life. It's fine. Main players thus far: Ghislaine Maxwell. Here we go. Ghislaine Maxwell, longtime partner, girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffy. Born Christmas Day in France, 1961. Ironically, serving a mere 20 years as Stephen Hoffenberg. So remember that guy in the last slide? Yeah, he only served 20 years for his own fraudulent charges. Yeah, are you starting to notice a pattern? Every single person this guy hangs out with is just bad. They end up being bad. This is why I have this at the bottom of all of my slides. Father was a media mogul and died under mysterious circumstances. He was buried in Israel, where the funeral was attended by former heads of Israeli intelligence. What in the actual fuck? Now, to be fair, the mysterious circumstances, it really does appear that he just passed away due to a heart attack. He had a habit of going out on his yacht and pissing in the ocean, and he was found naked, and there was a lot of lung and heart trauma, apparently. So, yeah, not exactly a mystery. But this is a mystery. Why in the hell is Israeli intelligence attending this chick's dude's funeral? It's weird. You read that correctly. Her father had many companies that may make you sick to your stomach. That is true, and that's coming here in a second, or on the second part, depending. Was often the liaison for her father's interest in affairs. His skill would later be used with her romantic relationship with Epstein lasted 25 years. It's very true. So she basically organized his entire life. She was like the secretary with benefits for him, essentially, is what it was. On the 29th of December of 2021, Maxwell was found guilty and convicted by a jury in U.S. federal court on 5 sex trafficking-related counts, carrying the potential custodial sentence of up to 65 years imprisonment, 1 of sex trafficking a minor, maximum of 40 years, 1 of transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, at least 10 years, and 3 of conspiracy to commit, I'm not sure what that is, felonies, 15 years total. So this bitch should have at least got like 65 freaking years, and she got 20. That's it. That's all she got. Oh, and by the way, she at one time dated the guy who founded Gateway Computers. Continuing forward, Robert Maxwell, her father, he is currently deceased. Okay, that's what he looks like. He was born actually under a different name. He was also born when it was Czechoslovakia, but now it's Ukraine. Wow. Born June 10th of 1923. Died November 1991, buried in the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. Again, that's just weird. However, he was known for being a former member of Parliament. Sorry, when you get this in depth, you need a lot of time. Come back for part 2.